Hello happy people, my name is Dan and welcome to part 2 of GM48 Game Jam games. This is the 40th Game Jam and the theme is Discovery. All of these have been made in 2 days, so let's see what we've got. So up first today we have Which Wonder Wandering Candyland. It's presumably meant to be Wandering Candyland, but there's some contention there. Is it an E? Is it an A? The way it's spelled, but it's fine. Basically in this one you are in this beautiful 3D platformer collecting or discovering, what have you, these little stars on a beautiful little colourful Candyland-esque platformy kind of game. It's really clever. I'm just mesmerised by the fact that someone's managed to put together a 3D game in just 48 hours. The depth, as a few people have pointed out, can be a little bit confusing. It's hard to tell if a platform is higher or lower, but you've got a rotating camera. I think that was intentional. I think it's part of the puzzle, which is why you rotate the camera in the first place. And they're very generous in the fact that if you do jump off the edge, you just go right back to where you started, which is a relief because I jumped off many times there. It's really well done. I'm so impressed by the skills that have gone into the sort of depth of the programming, the 3D aspect of it. It's absolutely wonderful. And as you can see here, I'm jumping up this platform and there's a lovely little chuggy burrow there and I fell off again. I was just on my way to getting the 4th star because there are only 4. Sadly, it's quite a short game. I do wish there was more to this. I think it's got a lot of potential because there's so much you can do with it. If you can get this aesthetic right, maybe a little shadow under the witch would help, but if you can pull this off, you can do amazing things with it. But that being said, I do want to show you something real quick actually, something I found. Let me just show you. This is an included file in the game. And it turns out it's the level map. So I was just having a little play with it because it turns out you can actually edit it. And would you look at that? It's there, the platforms I made. Wonderful little improvement, makes it so much easier. Got that style with no issue now. No worrying about platforming if you can just edit the entire game. I mean, it's just really clever though. And to read it all from an Excel file as well. Very good. So, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I liked it. Good job. So going from being a wonderful little space witch to just being in your home, having a wonderful time, digging around the garden, looking for spare parts to build a rocket ship. Why not? This is Little Cosmonauts. Is it Little Cosmonaut or Little Cosmonauts? It's Little Cosmonaut. No plural. But it is an interesting game. Now, this may look super duper fast, and it is, and that is because I sped the game footage up by 3 times. Now, the reason I did that, well, there's 2 reasons. One, I was quite slow at playing this and figuring out what was going on, and also 2, it is quite a slow going game to begin with. What you have to do is find the parts to the rocket ship and take them to the garden to turn it into a rocket. Why there are dozens of nuts and bolts, and you have to do it before your mum cooks dinner. That pink skirt that you may have seen, there she is, that is, oh, she has a face too. But when it begins you just see that perspective there, you just see the bottom half of her. But yeah, you have to build a rocket before she calls you in for dinner. And it's sweet, it's cute. Now, I do have some thoughts about this. Obviously you've got a very limited perspective and that's by design, and I get it. I get that's obviously the childlike perspective. It's very cute, it's very wholesome, and it's got that lovely art style. I do like the art, but it's so restrictive you can't see what's going on. And I know that's the intention, I know that's the point, but look how long it takes me to get on this, actually no, I can't blame that for how long it took me to get on this moving platform. That's just me not being the great at platforming. But it's hard to see sometimes where you're going when you've got such a limited viewpoint. But that aside, I do really like this, and oh yeah, slight issue, I got shot into space there. That definitely wasn't meant to happen, but these things happen. It's a game jam game. Overall, I really do like the cutesy style, the cutesy aesthetic. It gives you that sort of well, you know, when you think when you're younger and you're going to build a rocket ship and everything's a fantasy when you're younger, everything's all whimsical and lovely, and it's got that lovely little guitar like looping music to give you that wholesome feel. It's very, very wholesome, very, very wholesome. I didn't end up finding everything. I need to go back and have another dig through, but again, I feel that's a perspective. If I could just see a little bit more, I would know where things are. But then of course that would take away the challenge of the game, or at least some of it. So I get it, I do. It is a good game and it's a good entry. So good job on that one, and let's see what else we've got. Okay, so up next we have got the Deepest Down. And in the Deepest Down, you are this hooded character jumping through this mysterious, dark and spooky world, finding things to interact with, and yeah, it's really, really well made, and it's really good at building atmosphere. I cannot overstate how good the atmosphere in this game is. Obviously that's a lot of the sort of dark pixely grainy effect, and it's all very, very well done, but it's also the sense of confusion, the sense of being lost. It's this maze-like world where things keep changing around you, a lot of off-screen sound effects. It's a lot to take in, and I think it's fantastic. And I met a little guy there. Hello, little guy. Did you guys hear? That is convenient timing. Have you guys heard? I've got drunk people wandering outside my house. Wonderful. This is what I get for living on a main road next to the bars. Huh. Good timing for a scream in front of scary friend guy. I'm going to leave that in because I think that suits quite well. Anyway, I did get a little confused here because it kept telling me the door was locked, and I was getting a little impatient, and eventually it did unlock, but I was quite confused, and confusion is the point. You are meant to be confused. This is one of those games, again, I can't do it justice by showcasing just a few minutes. You really need to play the whole thing. And I found a little tentacle. It wants something. I have something. I gave it something. I tried to. Yes, now I gave something. It said discovered beggar, and I wandered off too quickly to actually look at beggar, so I went back to have a look, and there he is. What a lovely little guy. Anyway, it's a great game. Really good atmosphere, really good effects, and again, something that's definitely going to need to be played in a lot more depth because it's just so much going on and so much to take in. Okay, so drunk screaming aside, we now have Randomon. Randomon, the game in which you have to catch 400 million thousand squillion, I'm not entirely sure, it's about 500,000 Randomons, which I think is brilliant. I just caught an Anonycat. Basically these are randomly generated creatures which you are capturing by taking photos of them, and I think it's brilliant. I've just caught a Mubrata. I think the random procedural generation is fantastic. They've definitely gone for the random generation challenge. I've caught a Macronid. I do think it takes a little bit time. Sometimes you get all of your randomons all at once, and then sometimes you're waiting for a good few seconds, which slows the pace down a little. A gulpy opa. But you do get a different colour palette change every so often, and you get to, oh, I like this guy. It's a sea fox. Yeah, you get a lovely conversation with this delightful Professor Toke. Definitely not Professor Oak. No. He's ever so lonely because his son is a dick. Fair enough. You get these little story pieces with Professor definitely doesn't flash people in parks, and then you go back to a different palette swapped field of grass catching more of your randomons. It's a cute toy, it's a lot of fun. And I think the procedural generation is fantastic. The silly art style, everything about it is just fun, and that's what Jam's all about. It's making something fun, and I got a Goldbermeyer. I'm just enjoying the weird and wonderful creations. Yeah, and that's it. I'm going to stop trying pronouncing them because there's no way. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please stick around because these are all my randomons, so why don't you fight me? I'm kidding. But have a wonderful time, and I shall see you in the next one. Until then, though, bye!